Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, and I am joining you this morning for my Sale-a-bration Sunday. So this is a series of videos that I'm going to be doing from now until February 27th, I think is the last Sunday of Sale-a-bration. And each Sunday I'm going to be featuring a different Sale-a-bration item. Today I am featuring Catching Butterfly stamp set. So I'm just going to switch my screen over. Good morning, Gail. There we go. Just switch my screen over to show you the Catching Butterflies stamp set. So this is a super cute stamp set in the Sale-a-bration catalog, and the way you earn these stamp sets for free is by making a $60 purchase. There's a ton of free designer series paper, stamp sets, and even a couple, well, there's a $120 bundle that includes designer series paper and a stamp set. So this is our Catching Butterflies, and we're going to get started. So the card I'm going to make today is a little bit more complicated than the usual cards I make. I've been attending an online convention for stamping, and I always get so inspired by these and just have so much fun with them. So this is kind of a fancy fold that we were playing around with yesterday. So what I've done is I have a piece of pool party paper here cut at 5 by 11. So quite a different size, and because we're going to be creating like a gatefold. So I actually want to move my, my cutter out of the way. I just want my scorer, and we're going to score this at 3 3/8. And then I'm going to turn it around and score it at 3 3/8 the other way. So that's just a little bit less than 3 1/2. All right, so with that scored at 3 3/8 on both ends, you'll see that this actually folds in, but it does like an overlapping fold. Now I want to create like a little gate here. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to come in at the 3-inch mark. And this time I am going to use my cutting blade, and I'm going to cut from our score line out to the edge. And then I'm going to flip this back over to the 3 3/8 and cut from where I just cut all the way out. Okay, so now I missed a tiny little bit there. I could use my trimmer and keep playing with that to try and get that piece to pop out. But I'm actually just going to bring in some paper snips and finish off the job this way. There we go. So I've got that little piece that I'm done with. I can just put that to the side and use it on another project. And now I'm going to do exactly the same thing to my other side, but because I flipped my card around, I'm actually only going to do it at 2 1/2 inches so that it ends up at the same level. Okay, so there we go. So you can see that's a straight line across. At least it should be. Looks like it might not be. Uh-oh. I might have to go back and redo this one because I may have just messed that up. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, you know why that messed up? Because I didn't cut. I cut my card at 5 by 11, not 5 1/2 by 11. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. So I messed up right from the very get-go. So for those of you who missed all that I just did, go grab yourselves a piece of 5 1/2 by 11. It will actually work if I start with the right size cardstock. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. So my original one, I started with 5 by 11, but it should have been 5 1/2 by 11. So again, we're going to go score this at 3 3/8 and flip it around, and again at 3 3/8. There we go. Then we're going to turn this lengthwise and put it at 3 inches. And we're going to cut all the way up to our score line. And then we're going to cut out the smaller portion. So there should be a 3-inch wide side and a 2.5-inch wide side. I'm going to cut out the 2.5-inch side, just like that. And then when we flip this around, we'll actually line it up at 2.5, and this time it will work. And I can see that it's working because my line at the top is in the right spot. There we go. Cut all the way from our score line in, and then come back and line this up and cut down along that score line, just from where we cut down the score line. There we go. Did better cuts that time too. I didn't have to go in and fiddle with the paper snips. So what we have here now is a little card that's going to fold in just like that. I'm going to use my paper snips right here on the edge just to trim up that little, there we go. There's just a little piece that didn't sit quite right. And I just like to use my fingers to take away. My blades are getting dull. It's time to switch up blades in there. All right. So with that done, I've created my card base here. So the right side goes in first and then the left side across the front. And that is the base for our card today. So I'm going to use some designer series paper to decorate this card. There's actually a lot of paper used on this card. It's a very heavy one at the end of the day. And the paper I've chosen to use is the, oh, I always get this wrong, Heart and Home. If Alita was here, she'd be yelling it at me. So this is a really nice floral pack of paper. But what I love about it is that, I could just get to the end here. The back side of all of these florals is all sorts of white and gray wood grain. So just all sorts of wood grain. Absolutely love it. So that is the Heart and Home Designer Series paper that I'm using today. And I've cut a piece of it at 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to just glue that right onto the inside. Oh, hello, Nicole. Thanks for joining this morning. I'm just creating a card this morning with the Catching Butterflies stamp set. And so this is a super cute stamp set, and we're pairing it up with a little fun fold that I learned at a stamping convention yesterday. So that's one of the perks of, being on a team, is that we get together quite, we get together quite regularly to stamp, either like with our monthly meetings or putting on stamp camps together, just doing kind of social fun Friday night stamping. And every once in a while, we kind of all get together and go to a convention or something, and usually about once a quarter. So I just got glue all over my desk. So guys, the best way to deal with this is to wipe it up as best you can and then let it dry a little bit, and then come on in with a white eraser, or if you've got one, a glue eraser, and that'll just pick up the residue. So I'm not operating at 100% this morning. I've actually been extremely ill all week. And I think I saw you guys on a Wednesday morning, and I barely got through that video. I really probably shouldn't have even gotten out of bed to do that video. And I've been in bed ever since. Last night I started feeling a little bit human, so I thought I'd give this a go. We'll see. So far I've cut the wrong paper and dropped glue, so maybe I shouldn't have gotten out of bed. But I've been dying. I was watching the videos yesterday for this stamp camp, and so I've been dying to actually get some stamping done. All right. So there we go. Cleaned up all my glue mess. So with that done, that designer series paper on the inside of our card, I'm actually going to put some designer series paper on the 2 front flaps. Now, unfortunately, I got glue on that one as well. Darn it, and on the side I want to show. So let's just do some glue removal here. So as soon as it's somewhat dry, you're able to start picking it up with a white eraser or with a glue eraser. You just have to let it dry a tiny bit. Okay, Just about done. I know you guys probably can't see it, but I can sure feel it when I touch this paper. All right. A little bit more. Okay, I'll put that one on the front, and then hopefully most of it will get covered up with the designs that we're going to create. All right, so this one I'm going to put down so that that green piece is showing. And I've cut this just so it's a 1/4 inch smaller than my little gate at the front. Now what's cool about this card is I created this gate to be 3 by 3 3/8. But you can create this gate to be any size you'd like. So especially in terms of height, it's very easy to switch it around and make it a taller gate, a smaller gate, whatever's going to work for the pieces that you have or the design that you have in mind. All right, there we go. And then you can, of course, use your designer series paper and also cover this more or less than I am. I left a 1/4 inch, so I would have kind of a nice big border, but you could actually make that border much smaller as well. All right, so with that done, I'm just going to grab my glue eraser one more time. Uh-oh, put it down, and it has disappeared off my desk. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to give that one more go because I can still feel some more glue on here. So normally liquid glue is my favorite adhesive because it is adjustable. This morning it is not my friend. All right, there we go. All right, that should be cleaned up enough. All right, so our next step before we do anything more is we're going to attach a ribbon to this card so that it stays in place. And the ribbon I've chosen is actually our old olive Pretty Peacock double-sided ribbon. I just thought it blends so nicely with this garden green and the pool party. Like, it's just a very nice complement. And I didn't want a ribbon that was really going to stand out. So to decide how much ribbon I needed, I just kind of wrapped it around my card and then left a good long length for tying a bow. And that's about all I'm going to do with it just yet, because as long as I know I have enough here to tie a bow, which I do, that's all I need. We want this card open because we still have a lot more work to do on the inside of our card. I am actually going to hold this ribbon down with a piece of tear and tape. So I'm just going to, I want that about halfway. So I'm just going to put a piece of tear and tape there, peel the backing off, and lay my ribbon through that so that it stays in place. So now, even when my card is open, my ribbon's not going to go anywhere. It is firmly attached right there. All right, so that is our card base kind of all begun. And now we're going to get to work on the actual stamping bits and creating some beautiful stuff to put in here. So I'm going to just put that off to the side, and I'm going to pull in a few pieces. So I have used my stitched rectangle dies to cut 2 white rectangles using, I believe this was the fourth smallest rectangle. So counting from the middle, I've used the 4th one to create 2 white rectangles, and then I've used the 6th one to create a pool party rectangle. If you don't have the stitched rectangles, that's fine. You can use them as your $60 to earn this cute little stamp set for free. Or you can just cut regular rectangles or cut scalloped rectangles. It'll all work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by stamping some butterflies right here on one of my stitched rectangles. So I'm going to grab some Memento ink, and there's this little group of butterflies in our stamp set. Uh-oh, I just got ink on my hand. So before I smudge that anywhere, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can actually take your chamois and use it like it's a cloth and just wipe up any surface, including your own hands, to clean away any ink. And that's going to prevent my smudges. All right, so with my little butterflies all inked up, I'm stamp them up in the top right-hand corner of my piece of cardstock. And then there's also this little butterfly, and I'm going to just stamp one more kind of down a little bit lower. All right, now I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to grab my other white rectangle. This is going to go on the inside of our card. And so I've grabbed the sentiment from our stamp set. It says, "Celebrate every beautiful thing." And I'm going to stamp that kind of down low so I have space up above to write a little message to whoever I'm giving my card to. And then I'm going to take that single butterfly again and just stamp 3 little guys around my sentiment. So I'm kind of tying my front design into my inside design. Put that to the side. And now I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper, a piece of basic white, and it wouldn't really be a card with this catching butterflies if I didn't use this sweet little girl and stamp an image of her. So I'm actually going to bring my ink straight to her and really ink her up nicely. There we go. I'm really going to have to watch my hands. I re-inked this pad yesterday, and I think I got some ink on the outside of it because it seems like every time I touch it now I'm getting black marks on my hands. So I'm just going to grab my chamois one more time. I'll have to clean that up. So I can even use my chamois. I won't do it during our video, but after this video I can even use my chamois and just like wipe down my ink pads and clean up any ink that may be on the outside of them. All right, so, oh, good morning, Leah. So with all of these things stamped, I'm going to do a little bit of coloring. So I'm actually going to move that out of the way. And I'm going to grab my blends and start coloring these in. Now, the blends that I wanted to start with are actually kind of special. You can grab them right now if you're a demonstrator, or you can wait until February 4th. If you're not a demonstrator. And Stampin' Up has come out with an entire new line of neutral blends. And so they've just numbered them from 100 all the way up to 1,000. So there's 10 of them. And they're going to be a part of a new kit called All Together. Oops, I should actually just put these down. I'm trying to keep them in order because I have them in numerical order right now. At least I think I do. Yeah, 9,000. Okay, I think those two went down backwards. So yeah, so we've got this whole neutrals line, starting with our deepest one at 100. And let's see, I think I maybe put each pair about 300, 400, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. So from 100 to 1,000 with all of our neutral tones. And you guys, these are amazing. They're amazing for making so many different projects. We've got like a nice full range now for coloring hair and skin, but as well as different kinds of woods and neutral backgrounds. And it's just so, so lovely. So I'm trying to remember, I believe I used 300 and 400 is what I kind of thought was going to make the best look for coloring in the hair on this little girl. And so I'm using the thin end and doing my darks first. So this is my, oh, sorry, no, that's not right. That's my 400. I want to start with my 300, which will be a deeper color. And so starting with my 300 and my thin end, I'm coming in and just doing some of my darker strands of hair here. And I love the hair on this little girl. It reminds me of the little fairies that we had a few years ago that were so, so sweet. All right, so just doing a few of these strands in the darker shade. And then I'm going to come in with the lighter shade. I'm actually going to use the wider tip because I don't mind if I go over top of the dark ones that I've already colored. That's actually going to allow the colors to blend and, you know, be a good hairstylist. Don't just have big streaks. There we go. And then if I decide I want some more dark strands, I can always come back in and add more in later. But by doing my darks first, I can come in with the wider tip on my light, and it doesn't matter if I go over top of my darks. There we go. All right, so we've got that beautiful hair all colored in. And let's see, 3, 4, there we go. And then I'm going to grab an 800, maybe a 700 to do the skin here. So when these first go on, sometimes they appear a little bit darker than they'll end up being. They do fade out a little bit. And if you grab these, I've got a chart I can share with you as well that you can use so you can keep kind of a record of what they'll dry to look like, and also to do some blending with them. So if you're dying to get your hands on these and don't want to wait till February, you can actually grab them as part of a starter kit today. And so you could talk to me about that and find out how to do that. So there we go. We've got her all colored in using our brand new neutrals line. So super excited about that. I'm just going to put those off to the side a little bit so that I can come on here and then finish coloring up the rest of her. So now I'm going to grab my very favorite light pool party, and I'm going to go over just all the hashing on her net using my light pool party. So I'm really not coloring in her net. I'm just kind of making it stand out just a tiny bit more. And then I'm going to use, I think actually I'm going to use a light, which one is this? Light Highland Heather to color in her dress. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not. I think that's actually going to be darker than I want. I am going to go use our In Colors Fresh Freesia, light Fresh Freesia for her dress. There we go. So it's very, very light. And I am using the light one first, and then I'm going to come back in with my dark afterwards and add in some highlights. Okay, so there we go. And then grab my dark Highland Heather, and I'm just going to go over those lines that are already there at the bottom of her dress. There. All right. So nothing too fancy there. All right, with that all done, I have one last detail to add to this, and it is just a little bit of a wink of Stella all over her dress, because who doesn't need a sparkly dress? There we go. All right, so now I'm going to set that off to the side while we color in our butterflies. Oh, good morning, Janice. How's it going? So our butterflies here, I am going to color them in a wide range of colors. I'm going to start with some Flirty Flamingo and just do a couple of these guys. So I'm going to color the whole butterfly in my light Flirty Flamingo to start. And then I'm going to come in with the small tip of my Flirty Flamingo and just do the outline, leaving that centerpiece. All right. So if you're not familiar with our blends, I do love using them to color because they are, they are super easy to use. They don't leave streak lines, and they come in these combo packs of light and dark of the same color, but like a different shade. And so they work so well together. Oh, I know, Janice, isn't this set adorable? It makes me wish I had little girls, but oh well. I'll find somebody to give this card to, even if it's not my boys, even if they won't appreciate it. All right. So now the next one I'm going to use is Balmy Blue. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to come on in here with my light. I'm going to do two at a time. Blue, just that little bit blue. All right, and then come on in with my dark and do the outline. There we go. And I am eventually going to get the whole rainbow done here, but I'm kind of going a little sporadically here. Let's see. Saffron. No, I think that's going to be too light. I'm going to grab my daffodil. Sometimes the ends can be a little bit deceiving as to what color they will end up being. So I do sometimes like to do a test run on a paper first. All right. Right there. There we go. And then take my dark and take that thin tip and do my outline again. So kind of adding in a little bit of a rainbow element to this card as we go along. All right. So there's my yellow. Now I'm going to grab some Granny Apple Green. And so my inside one is done, but my Granny Apple we still need to do. And so again, with the light first. And then outline with the dark. Now, if you don't have blends, this is going to work just as well with some felt pens, some pencil crayons, whatever it is you do have for coloring. All right, now I'm going to grab my Highland Heather. Come on in here, this little guy. And some Calypso Coral. Oh, maybe that's Calypso Coral. Yeah, light Calypso Coral. There we go. Well, actually, I might go over that with the dark. That wasn't quite the color I was hoping for. There we go. Just because he's little, I want him to stand out a little bit more. Oh, I know that old DSP, the butterfly DSP, would go so well with this. I've got to see if I have any lying around. All right, now our last one. I'm thinking I want to do red, but I'm actually just going to grab a piece of scrap paper and see, because I don't want it to come out too dark with the color combo that I already have. Oh, actually, that's bright enough. It's not dark because this is my Poppy Parade. So yeah, we'll go ahead and use Poppy Parade. There we go. And then grab my dark one to do my outline. Here we go. So that took a little while to get all those butterflies colored in, but it will be well worth it since it's kind of like the feature point on our card. Now we're going to take our little girl here and we are going to fussy cut her. Now I'm not going to be too fussy as I cut her out. I am going to leave a bit of a white border. She's going on a white background, so it doesn't really matter. And so we're just going to come around. And when I get to the net and stuff, like I'm not going to go too in depth and try and get too far into that little space between her head and the net. All right, there we go. So sale-a-bration is just about halfway over, and there are just so many amazing stamp sets. Another great way to earn stamp sets, you can do your order, of course. $60 order will get you a stamp set. But another great way to earn stamp sets is to actually get some friends together and host a party. I can offer virtual parties online where we just kind of introduce you to stamping. Like take a sip, just do some simple stamp inks and paper, nothing fancy like today's card. If you and your friends are more advanced stampers, I can do more advanced cards and teach some techniques and stuff, or even do a product-based card class where you guys choose a stamp set and we do it that way. And so by running a virtual party, then you can earn host rewards as well. And like the Calming Camellias was one of those host sets that I showed last week. So you can earn sale-a-bration items as well as host sets. And all of your guests have an opportunity to earn the sale-a-bration sets as well. So lots of different ways that we could do a virtual party if you're looking to earn a few more of these stamp sets as well. All right, so with her all fussy cut, we are ready to put our card together. So we already had our base started. Oh, there it is. So for those of you who missed the beginning, we started with a piece of paper that was 11 inches by 5.5. We scored it at 3 3/8 in from each side, and then cut out a chunk, a 2.5-inch chunk out of the top of each one. I put down some designer series paper, some more designer series paper, some more designer series paper, and attached a ribbon to this card. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this piece that we stamped these butterflies on, and we are going to attach this to our card front right at the edge of that first fold. So the way I'm going to do that is to grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to put 2 dimensionals right at the bottom of that piece with the butterflies. And then I'm going to hold it up here right beside the edge where I'm going to put it. And I'm going to put 2 dimensionals right here on that flap. But I can see that they're definitely going to be like hidden by my paper when I take these off. So I'm going to take those backings off. Take those backings off. There we go. And I'm going to line that up right along that edge and pop that down. There we go. So with that there, I'm now going to put some dimensionals on the back of this little girl. Put one on her net, one on her head, and one on her dress. I don't want to go too far off to the left because those pieces might not be on our backing. And I'm going to put her on here so that both of her feet are still kind of on there. All right, so that is our little girl chasing her butterflies. And now we're going to do the next little part. It's not tricky, but there is a little bit to it. And I'm going to use some tear and tape for this next bit. So I'm going to start by putting a piece of tear and tape at the bottom of this piece of pool party that I've got. Now I didn't go all the way to the edge because I do know that this edge is going to go off a little bit, just a tiny bit. And then I'm also going to put a little piece of tear and tape right here at the top of this. All right, now let's see. I hope that that's not too far. Might actually just peel that back a bit just to be sure. Okay, so I'm going to take my backing off of each of these. But now before I close this card up, I'm going to come in here and line this up so that it is behind, like making a nice frame behind my little butterfly girl. And then I'm simply going to close my card. So that's got that all lined up. Okay, so you can see it just went over just the tiniest bit on that edge. Now with this piece here, again, you could use liquid glue or tear and tape, your choice. I'm going to use some tear and tape just because it's fast and easy. It's here in my hands. This is your section that you're going to be able to write a little message or something on. And so I'm going to take the backing off of this. But again, I'm not just going to pop that down in here. I'm actually going to line this up behind my butterfly girl again so that it's perfectly hidden behind her. Here we go. And then close my card. And now, oh darn it, that's a little bit crooked on there. All right, so luckily I haven't pushed down too hard. I should be able to straighten that. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Oh, come on. Okay, so I'm going to put one more piece of tear and tape on there and try and actually get this straight. I guess I have the top lined up, but not the bottom. All right, so I'm going to pull that off again. Maybe I'll do it this way and get that straight this time. There. And just straighten it out the tiniest bit before I push it down. There we go. So it's a little bit of finicking around to make sure you get that all done right. But the idea is that when we close our card, that little message is hidden. And then when we open it up, our message is there. Now, I left a little bit of space there. I'm actually just going to fix that up by throwing in a glue dot. So I'm going to grab my Take Pick tool, throw a glue dot in under there, pick up the backing off of it. Oh, come on. There we go. And just use a glue dot to hold that down. There we go. Just from having peeled it up, it got a little bent. There. So we're almost finished. Still not done this card though. There's one last feature to this, and that is that we're going to make it into a gift card as well. So I have used my basic Borders dies to create this cute little cloud stitching out of Pool Party, and I cut it at 4 inches by, I don't know, I guess 3 inches, and then I did the die cutting. And I'm going to attach this using tear and tape across the bottom and the sides so that it creates a cute little pocket to put a gift card into. And so here we go. Just up the sides a little bit. We just need it so that nothing's going to fall out. And then we'll pull those off. And then, oh, I don't know if I have a gift card here to show you guys. I'll just use a piece of cardstock. And I'll show you guys how we'll pop our little gift card in here. So I'm lining that up with the edges of my DSP. There we go. And then you can just take your little gift card and slide it in just like that. And then it will also be hidden behind your pieces. So now you can have a little gift card hiding inside your card. So just like that. And then when you're going to give this card, you pop your gift card in there, write your little message, and then you can just come through here. You just pull that closed. And then I like to do my bunny ears just to create a cute little bow. Oh, come on. Cooperate today. Nope, not going to work. Okay, try it again. So a bow and a bow. Wrap them around each other. And then just kind of fiddle with it till it looks like how you want it to look. So I want that bow to be kind of going up and down the side of the card. And then my ends actually look good. I don't even need to trim those. So that is our finished card. I'll just bring that up so you guys can see it a little bit closer. There we go. So that is our Catching Butterflies gift card holder. So our fancy little fold. That fold was thanks to Erica Serwin. She demonstrated that one during our workshop or online convention. All right, so let's see here. Let's see if I can switch my screen. Thanks so much for joining me today for the creation of that little card. Thanks for your comments and stuff. Glad you guys are doing well. And yeah, just remember that for every $60 purchase, you can grab a free sale-a-bration item. So you can place an order online. I do have a shopping link in the description of this video, or you can contact me directly to place your orders. Have a fabulous, fabulous Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday morning for my regular Facebook Live. Bye. Oh, thank you, Louise. Thanks, Val. Have a great day.